He was abandoned as a baby, dropped out of 2 colleges, and by 22, he had no money, no degree, and no clear future. But a few decades later, this same man would outsmart the most powerful tech giants on the planet, build a $300 billion empire, and become one of the most feared and admired figures in Silicon Valley. He never followed the rules. He broke them, rewrote them, and forced the world to play his game. How does someone the world never wanted end up becoming the man who quietly powers the global economy? This is the untold story of Larry Ellison, the rebel who hacked his way to the top of the world. Larry Ellison wasn't born into privilege. He didn't inherit wealth, a company, or a golden future. He was born into uncertainty, raised in a small apartment in Chicago by people who weren't even his biological parents. But what he lacked in opportunity, he made up for in a relentless obsession to win. And over the next 5 decades, that obsession would turn him into a tech titan, reshape how the world handles information, and build Oracle, the backbone of modern digital infrastructure. This isn't just a story of money. This is the story of how one man turned pain into power and changed the world. The unwanted genius, 050 to 5. Larry Ellison was born in New York City in 1944 to a 19-year-old unwed mother. 9 months later, she gave him up for adoption. He was taken in by his aunt and uncle in Chicago, a working-class Jewish family living in a modest 2-bedroom apartment. His adoptive father, Louis, worked a stable government job, a practical, cautious man, the kind of man who believed dreams were dangerous. Larry grew up feeling like an outsider in his own home. He wasn't a model student. In fact, he was the opposite. Curious, rebellious, unimpressed by authority. But behind the teenage defiance was a brilliant, restless mind. He enrolled at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. He was doing well until tragedy struck. His adoptive mother passed away, and he dropped out. He later joined the University of Chicago and dropped out again after just 1 semester. By 22, Larry had no degree, no savings, and no clear direction. But he also had something far more dangerous: nothing to lose. In the late 1960s, Larry moved to California. Silicon Valley wasn't the global tech hub we know today. It was a land of misfits, rebels, and dreamers, a place where the rules hadn't been written yet. Larry bounced between programming jobs, teaching himself how to code, and pushing the limits of what computers could do. Then one day, he stumbled upon a paper that changed everything: a relational model of data for large shared data banks by Edgar F. Codd of IBM. This paper proposed a revolutionary way to store and retrieve data. To Larry, it wasn't just interesting, it was the future. While IBM hesitated to act on its own idea, Larry saw a once-in-a-lifetime opening. In 1977, with just $1,200, Larry co-founded a tiny company with Bob Miner and Ed Oates. They called it Software Development Laboratories, which would later become Oracle. Their mission? Build the world's first commercial relational database before IBM did. Larry wasn't just betting on a technology, he was betting on speed, courage, and vision. And he was right. Oracle shipped its first version while IBM was still stuck in bureaucracy. It wasn't perfect. It was buggy, unreliable, and rough. But it was first. And in the tech world, being first can be everything. Slowly, Oracle started attracting attention, especially from the US government and big corporations. But with success came chaos. Larry Ellison wasn't your typical CEO. He wasn't diplomatic. He wasn't patient. He was relentless. He pushed Oracle to grow faster than it should have. Sales teams booked deals that didn't exist yet. Revenue was inflated. The company was running on Larry's sheer willpower, not solid foundations. Then came 1990. Oracle missed its earnings. investors fled, and the company's stock plummeted 80% overnight. Wall Street laughed. Competitors sharpened their knives. Even his own board wanted him out. Larry was staring down the possibility of losing everything he had built. But here's the thing about Larry Ellison. He never backs down. Instead of walking away, he fired almost the entire top management team. He rebuilt Oracle's financial reporting system from the ground up. He overhauled the sales strategy and brought discipline into a company that had been fueled purely by adrenaline. Larry became ruthless. He grilled executives, demanded accountability, and pushed his engineers to innovate faster than anyone else. And it worked. Oracle didn't just recover, it came back stronger than ever. By the mid-1990s, Oracle was the dominant database company in the world. Its software was running on banks, airlines, governments, hospitals, and Fortune 500 giants. Larry Ellison, the dropout nobody believed in, was now challenging Microsoft, SAP, and IBM on a global scale. As the world moved into the internet era, most CEOs were just trying to keep up. Larry Ellison was already there. He saw the shift to cloud computing before almost anyone else. He doubled down on database innovation, building systems that were secure, scalable, and essential to the new digital world. Then he went on a legendary acquisition spree, buying companies like PeopleSoft and Sun Microsystems, merging their technologies into Oracle's empire. Larry didn't just build a company. He built a digital fortress that quietly runs the backbone of modern civilization. And outside of business, he built a personal empire too: islands, yachts, private jets. He became a symbol of power, rebellion, and defiance. But behind the yachts and wealth was still that same unwanted boy who decided he'd never be powerless again. Today, Larry Ellison's net worth is estimated at over $130 billion. His company, Oracle, powers everything from governments to banks to the apps on your phone. But his story isn't just about business. It's about how far obsession can take you. About how a kid who grew up feeling invisible became impossible to ignore. Larry Ellison didn't ask for permission. He didn't wait for the world to believe in him. He built his own world and forced the rest of us to live in it. Larry Ellison's journey proves something powerful. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is how dangerous you're willing to become when no one believes in you. He wasn't chosen. He wasn't handed a golden ticket. He was unwanted, underestimated, and doubted every step of the way. But he turned that pain into power and built a company that powers the modern world. If this story hit you, don't let it just be a story. Turn it into fuel. Drop a comment telling me the obstacle you're going to turn into your greatest weapon. Smash the like button so more people can hear stories like this. And if you want more journeys like Larry's, make sure to subscribe.